Hello and welcome to T-shirt design class project 1. So what are we going to do in this class project? Let's dive into first the introduction of it. So the name of the project is to create an idea generating or mentally illuminated creative T-shirt design. So the description is, in this class project, students are tasked to create a T-shirt design that portrays the theme on idea generation or getting illuminated mentally, or to simply put, getting an innovative idea and then showcase it on the mockup. So what are the things that the students need to do in order to create this class project? At first, create an A4 size document, then make a light bulb or import a vector from online. Keeping in mind that the light bulb will be colored, so the entire project will be in colored. It's not going to be in black and white. It's not going to be very simple. Then create text to portray the idea of getting an idea. So after getting the light bulb and setting it up in the design, the students need to first create a few text which goes well with the theme, and then finalize the design using shapes, borders in a very unique way. Then export the mockup for showcase. So let's get started and go ahead and start with the class project, shall we? So I have created a A4 size paper or artboard using class project 1 over here. Now let's go ahead and start downloading or importing or creating a light bulb vector first. So I'm going to go ahead and create a light bulb vector. So light bulbs are normally yellow in color. So I'm going to go ahead and select a yellow color. There you go. I'm not going to select any borders or any strokes. I'm going to first select, let's say, a circle. There you go. Now we have a circle over here. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the center like this. Then I'm going to use the pencil tool or the line segment tool over here. I'm going to first deselect that, use the line segment tool, go to the border over here, create something towards the center over here. There you go. But now I'm going to first put it so that it's at the I first select a stroke for it so that I can see it, the line. Let's give it black. There you go. Now I'm going to first select both of this, then use the normal selection tool, add this, and then put it at the center like that. Go then add this and put it at the center like this. Then I'm going to go ahead and select the line over here, or the pen tool or the anchor point tool over here. Create like a line over here. There you go. And then I'm going to go ahead, select this point, the direct selection tool, select this point and put it, let's say, right over at the center here. But I need guidelines for this, so I'm going to go ahead and create some guidelines first. First select this, put this at the center again, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up the grid view, so it's much more easier to work on. So I'm going to increase the size of the circle, but before that I want to snap to grid. There you go. So if I were to snap to grid right over here, I want to add it. Let me delete the circle and create the circle again. Let me create it, let's say, from the middle over here. Create a uniform. There you go. Let's zoom out a bit. So that's at the center. Let me make a perfect circle like this. Now I'm going to use the pen tool, and let's say I select the grid over here to add in more lines to it. There you go. Then I'm going to use the curvature tool like this, to first delete that. Then I'm going to use the direct selection tool, select this segment over here, and increase size of it like this. Now I'm going to first go ahead and do that. Do this for this segment as well. Make that one straight. I'm also going to make this one straight. I'm going to increase this font size over here. Increase this font size over here as well, so that everything looks uniformly the same. There you go. I'm going to also take this point over here and then move it down a bit. Then I'm going to use the pen tool again and add a node over here. Let me first delete that. I'll first select this, use the pen tool again. Let's add a line. Let's add a point over here. A point over here. Or you can keep on using this by selecting this. Now I'm going to go ahead, go to snap to grid, turn it off, then use the direct selection tool again to select the path. Select this path only. Here you go. And change it so that it looks a little bit both over here, and then change it so that it looks like that. There you go. Now you can use multiple shapes as well. So I'm going to delete this in order for you to use multiple selection as well. Here I'm going to use this one first and then another circle here first. Then I'm going to align them towards the center. There you go. And then this will be basically our guide to that. I'm going to turn off the grid as well. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead, select both of this, then use the pencil tool over here and just draw a casual line like this. And it will join those lines together. Now it does not need to be a perfect light bulb, but it does need to be looking like a light bulb, as you can see right over here. You can also edit it as you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the curvature tool, the anchor point tool over here. Curve it. So first delete this anchor points using the pen tool. Okay, first delete this line and then delete this line. Then use the anchor tool again. Curve this line a bit out towards the inwards. There you go. That looks okay. So I'm going to first put this at the center like that. There you go. Now I'm going to use another tool. And that's the knife tool. Why I'm using the knife tool is to cut basically. So I'm going to use a cut over here. I'm going to use a cut over here. I'm going to use a cut over here. And I'm going to use a cut over here. There you go. Now these are its separate objects. So first I'm going to select all the objects to see where my objects are lying at, and then select this one, this one. First let me go ahead and select this one first and change the color of it to, let's say, gray. Change this one color to be a bit darker gray. Change this one's color to be the same color as the previous one. There you go. And this one as well, change it to a darker shade of gray. There you go. Now that looks like a light bulb, but the middle part is missing. So I'm going to go ahead and create like a middle wire part that's illuminating. So I'm going to use the pencil tool. I'm going to create, let's say, the white color over here, but I'm going to give no fill. And I'm going to give a white color over here. So now I'm going to use the pencil tool to draw, let's say, a line like this. There you go. Now I can select this and change the wire tool over here. There you go. That looks like a pretty much decent light bulb. So I'm going to group every one of it together so that it looks much more better. I'm going to increase the size of it and put it at the center. There you go. Now we need the other parts of it as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and first select the line tool over here, select the color to be the same color, but let me first go ahead and first select the color. There you go. I have selected the fill color there, so I'm going to go ahead and select the fill color, copy. Now go to the fill color over here, copy this color. Okay, then no fill. Then I'm going to go over here and copy the color over here so that we have the color right there. Now I'm going to go there, I'm going to go to the center over here and create, let's say, a line like this. There you go. Actually has that yellow line, but I'm going to increase the size to, let's say, 5 so that it looks much more visible. I'm going to go ahead and use the rotate tool. As you can see, change the anchor point towards the center over here. There you go. There's the center over here, and then drag it. But I can use Alter to drag it. So I can press Alter to drag it and paste. Then I'm going to press Ctrl D. Basically copy it. I don't need that many, but this is enough. Same case for this. I'm going to call Ctrl. Cancel. I'm going to hold Alter, and then I'm going to basically drag it. Cancel again. I select this one, or center over here. There you go. Then I'm going to drag it like this, right over here, and then drag it again. First, I'm going to put the anchor point over here, then hold this, and then drag it again. There you go. Then Ctrl D. And there you go. Now we have a basic design. I'm going to go ahead and group all of this together. There you go. Make it a bit transparent. So let's go with 80% transparency. I think that works better. Yes, 80% transparency works better. I'm going to realign this to the center over here. There you go. Now it's time for add us some text. So I'm going to go ahead, give nothing for the stroke, and give black for our text. Fill color for our text. There you go. So let's say we give "5 minutes of thinking is very good." Not there. Let me just deselect that, undo that. Very good. Before doing any, or 5 minutes of let's give something much more innovative instead of something very generic. Let's say actions have consequences, so think first. Let's say you are the first person to write down early to bed, early to rise. So let's go with that, early to bed, early to rise. Let's go with the center, there you go. Early to bed, space, early to rise. There you go. I'm going to put this at the center again. But this time we're going to go with custom fonts. In our previous lesson, I've showed you some websites where you can also download fonts from. I have already downloaded a font and I'm going to use that font now. So the font that I've downloaded is called Bleeding Cowboys. So I'm going to go with that. There you go. Early to bed, early to rise. It's a very unique font, so to say. So I'm going to go ahead, put it at the middle, at the center right here. Early to bed, early to rise. But I'm going to add in much more effects to it. I'm going to add let's say, increase the size of it. I'm going to add a stroke to it. But the stroke is going to be very mundane. I'm going to give it a red stroke to it. There you go. It has a very dark theme to it, you might say. So I'm going to go stick with this, but instead of the red stroke, let me try to decrease the size of the stroke. as much as possible. There you go. That looks better. Now I can change the way of how the stroke works basically. So let me first select that, go to strokes. I can select how the stroke looks like, how the edges of the strokes work, but it doesn't work that much. So I'm going to go ahead and I can also give like a dashed lines to it of the stroke as well. But I'm going to just stick with this. Then I'm going to add like a shadow effect to it. So there's one way of putting a shadow effect, but before that I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to object. I'm going to go to expand appearance. There you go. Then I'm going to go to object again and then expand. There you go. Now it is a vector image in itself. So I'm going to copy it, paste it over here. Then I'm going to go and arrange and send it to backward. There you go. Then go to effect here, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur. There you go. And I'm going to give it very small amount of blur. There you go. That looks pretty much nice. There you go. But as you can see, I've typed in a mistake. Instead of T, I pressed in Y, so I have to first undo everything again. Instead of expanding it, I need to edit this text again. So there you go, there's two. Now I can change the font for, let's say, bed over here. Let's say give it to this as well. So I can change the font to different kinds of different fonts as well, but this font does not go well with our theme. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that and change the font again to something very simple like this. Then I'm going to go ahead, increase the size of it, rotate it a bit. There you go. Then increase the stroke of it. There you go. And if there's a bold option for it, then use the bold option. But if there's no bold, there's nothing to do you can do, because bold text are the most to get seen. So I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm going to add in a stroke of a different color. Let's say I want to add a yellow stroke color to it. There you go, but the yellow does not seem to strike that much in the eye, so let's go for something orangish. Yeah, that looks better. And the fill color, I want it to be, let's say, red. That looks much more better according to our theme. Early to bed, early to rise. That's a great idea. So let's go ahead and add in let's say a border to it. So I'm going to go ahead, use the rectangle tool. I'll select the red color. Let me first copy the red color. Okay. And paste it here in the stroke over here. Paste it there. Okay, there you go. Then add in a border like this. I'm going to add the stroke color of the border to be much more bigger. And then I'm going to go ahead and arrange it and send it back so that it's at the back most. And then I'm going to go ahead and recenter it towards our artboard. There you go. And that looks wonderful. Let's try to use this, but before that I'm going to press everything, select everything, and create, let's say, a shape over here. There you go, a shape without a border. Wait, first let me see if I've created the shape or not. I think I have created a shape. Yes, shape has been created. So as the shape has been created, I'm going to go ahead and undo everything again. There you go, the shape has now not been created anymore. So I'm going to select this, but first I'm going to disable everything and select everything here, and then I'm going to go to the shape builder tool. There you go, and add in an orangish or dark reddish color, and add that one there. There you go. Now we have a very wonderful design here. Now I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to show you a mock-up for this, how this looks like on a mock-up basically. So as you can see, I have already put this in our t-shirt mockup over here, and I'm going to go ahead and save this as it is. Let's see how it looks like on a t-shirt. There you go. We have it like this. Now you can also change the roundness of our rectangle as well if you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the roundness. So here we are back. I'm going to select this objects first, and then I'm going to go ahead and select the roundness of this objects. Now for this stroke over here, you can change it so that it looks like, let's say, on the outer side, on the inner side, or the outer side like this. I'm going to go for the inner side. I'm going to go to the selection tool and press hold Control so that I can change, let's say, the shape of it. There you go. I can press undo again, and I can add in like covers like that. I can also encircle it like this, and using the direct selection tool, I can go ahead and select this, move this like this, select this, move this like this, and then change, let's say, the curvedness, much more higher lens, right over here like this, and then also change this anchor point as well. And basically change how it curves, how much it curves. As you can see, I've changed how much that curves over there. It might not look that much, but it looks better than before compared to this. Like, if you can see, like, it does not catch on your eye that it's tight corner, but this catches on your eye. It's tight corner. So very small details matter in these kinds of things. So you can curve it as much as you like. You can also use the anchor tool over here and curve it as much as you like as well. So for example, if I were to use the pen tool, if I were to delete this, and if I were to delete this, it will become a triangle, right? So let me go ahead, undo that, undo that, undo that as well, undo everything so that it goes back to being a rectangle. Then let me corner it up again. There you go. Now let us copy everything. So I'm going to select everything over here, Control C, copy. Then I'm going to go to Photoshop and then open up our smart object layer over here, disable that, and then paste it over here as pixels. And we have our design, as you can see over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and close this, saving it. And then we have our design, as you can see. And then you can change the blending option over here. So for white backgrounds, go for darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn, or darker color as you see fit. For this one, linear burn is good. Color burn works as well. Multiply is the best option. So I'm going to go for multiply and press OK. And as you can see, we have our design over here. And then that's it for this lesson. That's it for this class project. And I'll be seeing you in our next project.